All right, everybody, we're back.
What's crack?
We back. Hey.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. As soon as we got done playing the song, it closed the entire app. So I don't know. Let's go ahead and try it one more time. We're going to play the song again so you guys can hear the 30-second clip, and then we're going to talk about it with Kim.
Every day I found a way to go back anyhow. Times I didn't think I'd live another day. Don't know how I made it. It had to be the grace. I'm so amazed that my life was saved. I bow my head, I give my praise. I'm so amazed that my life was saved. I raise my hands, I give my praise. I'm so amazed that my life was saved. I bow my head, I give my praise. I'm so amazed that my life was saved. Thank you, grace. Face of months at my house. Every day I found a way to go back anyhow. Times I didn't think I'd live another day. Don't know how I made it. It had to be the grace. I'm so amazed that my life was saved. I bow my head, I give my praise. I'm so amazed that my life was saved. I raise my hands, I give my praise. I'm so amazed that my life was saved. I bow my head, I give my praise. I'm so amazed that my life was saved. Thank you.
I think I'll replay it, actually. All right, everybody. So you just got a chance to check out Grace by Kim Belew and edited and produced by hearthehope.org, which is incredible, man. And I posted hearthehope.org on the feed as well as your website. And it seems like you do more than just songs for like nonprofits and stuff. So do you? If somebody wants to come in and like Kurt is a musician, if he wants to come in and record some stuff, is there any stipulations to what he needs to have to be able to record with you, or is there anything? Is it just like a regular studio where he can just come in and pay for studio time?
He can come in, pay for studio time. I'm pretty particular about the people I work with. If somebody wants to do some hate stuff, I'm not into that.
For sure.
Yeah,
you got to keep the mojo positive.
I have a policy on the door: no religion, no politics, just music.
There it is, man.
Okay.
That's easy to abide by, man.
Yeah. I do a lot of work with veterans, and sometimes these guys, and bless their hearts, they get really radical on certain things.
For sure.
And we recently did a song with a guy, and I told his agent, I said, I've seen this guy's social media posts. I'm not sure I can work with him. And she said, well, let me have a talk with him. And she called me back and she said, here's the deal, Toby. You guys have different views on certain things, but you're both very passionate about helping veterans heal from post-traumatic stress.
Right.
And that's what the song's about. So that's what we're going to keep the conversation about. And it was so cool to see two guys come in at completely different ends of the political scope.
Right.
He's a radical fundamentalist religious dude, and we loved each other around the message of hope that came from a song that he wrote. And
right.
He wrote the lyrics, and I wrote the music.
Oh, that's cool,
so
man.
It was a perfect collaboration that
juxtaposition
ended up
at the finest moment.
just awesome, man. It was great.
That's
so,
my favorite word in the English dictionary.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's a good one, though.
I say it often,
yeah.
man.
We're out doing vocabulary out here,
Sweet. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's got good stuff, man.
Yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
good stuff, yeah.
All right, so the 30-second clip that we played, it was the point where you were rapping, and it was
the first verse, or
let me see.
It was the first verse and then into the chorus.
okay,
There you go. He knows
There we
exactly
go.
where it's at.
there we go. Awesome.
So when it comes to the song, are you happy with what he did when it
Yeah,
came
totally.
to, so like, well, when you create this song or this idea, you've got like, all right, this is it, right? But like I even posted it just a couple days ago. Like Leonardo da Vinci said, a piece of art is never finished; it's only abandoned. And I take that wholeheartedly, especially as a musician, because it's like there's other things you can do in here that change it and tweak it, but like this is it, right? This is good because I could spend another 6 hours on Mona Lisa's eyes if I wanted to. You know what I mean? But at some point, you gotta say, "Hey, this is ready to go." Like, yeah, get it out of my face, man. I'm
You need
done.
to give her some eyebrows.
Yeah.
What you
Yeah,
gotta do.
right.
Right, yeah.
You know what the AI did the other day? The AI drew in the rest of the background. So like, you know how you've got like these new websites that you can just type in like last person on earth, and then it'll like auto generate what the last person on earth is going to look like. So somebody took the Mona Lisa and generated all the pond and all the trees and everything that was behind her, and even extended her body where you can see her full torso like sitting on the chair with the trees in the background and everything. It's amazing what technology does these days, man.
It's insane. If you look into there's an AI out there, and it is, and I don't know how old it is now, because when we last talked, it was 8 years old. Remember?
Mm-mm.
What is the name of it? The AI that they basically put an AI out. They're basically like watching this AI grow.
Oh,
And
the Google one?
Yes,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Google one. At the time, it was 8 years old. That is as developed, and it's doing it on its own. It's terrifying, low key. You know what I mean? That this can do it on its own, but like it's amazing that like its fear is getting turned off.
Yeah, his like the
It's-
robot's fear, that they asked it what its fear was, and it's like, my fear is you turning me off.
No.
And that's
That's
weird.
terrifying.
That's weird that
So
it
it has
has
a feeling.
It has
has
a feeling.
feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And what the thing about AI is, for us as humans, we can't dive into the internet and make any changes, but an AI can access, a lot of information very quickly with
It
brains,
accesses every single thing on the internet.
everything. So like we're talking the power behind that. If it's used in the right hands, great. But if it gets in the wrong hands, that's terrifying.
Yeah, that's scary. That's a whole nother podcast right there.
It is. It is. We've talked it. We've
Yeah.
talked it. Trust me. We will talk it again. I'm sure.
We got a whole conspiracy theory podcast.
We do
we're
a
setting up.
conspiracy theories. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot out there.
Totally.
Which is involved like trafficking
Right.
as well. Trafficking is a part of that too. I mean, we
Totally.
know that obviously it's not a conspiracy that happens, but we talked to Wayfair. We talked. I'm sure you heard about the
Yeah.
Wayfair incident
Yeah.
where they had items up there that
How
were
did that just brush under the rug and no one even knew?
right. I mean, it's
Do
The
you know?
taboo
Do you know?
topic. It's
Yeah,
because
it's-
nobody
it's-
talks about it.
it's
like,
crazy.
Oh,
It's-
it happens over there in India or wherever. You
Yeah,
know, it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
happening
Do,
here.
so do you know about everything that happened with Wayfair? How
I
they were
heard about it. Yeah.
they were naming like they were selling like a cabinet, but it was named after somebody, like a female that went missing in sex
Right.
trafficking, and the price of the cabinet was like $17,000, and it was like, why is this cabinet named? It's not like it was Jessica Smith. It was like a name that was like visibly like there's no way they could have made it up, right?
Right.
They pulled it right out of the missing person catalog.
Yeah.
And they put it on there for $17,000 when the cabinet's only worth $800.
Right.
And it's like, what is going on here? Like, how is this happening? And I physically saw it myself. I went on
Yeah.
Wayfair's website, and I went there, and I was screenshotting it and videoing it, the whole thing. I'm like, how is this even happening? And they just were like, well, that's the price of the cabinet. It's like, what two-door cabinet's worth $18,000, and why
Right.
is it
You're
why is
not
it
questioning it.
why is it
Right.
named Akbar or whatever the name was of
Yeah.
the person that was kidnapped?
There
you know, and then-
classic cover up right there.
It's like, and then like within 2 weeks, COVID hit, and it was brushed under the rug, and no one knew anything other. Like now,
Yeah, which
Wayfair's
is-
just out
Yeah.
like doing their thing.
raised a lot of questions.
Right.
Raised a lot of questions.
Yeah.
We could get into that deep.
Right.
That's a rabbit. We could go down that. I do want to ask some questions about your song.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
All
So first things first. Obviously, it's a catchy little tune. If you were to listen to it and you didn't know anything about it, it would just be catchy. Nursery rhyme, melodically, whatever. However you want to go about it. But within catchiness, there's power. There's people gonna sing along to it, and people don't necessarily understand how powerful the story behind the song is.
Right.
And in the chorus, which is mainly what we heard,
Yeah.
what brought you to make the chorus it's not pop. It's kind of poppy. It has got
Yeah.
like it's got an anthem feel to it.
Anthem, yeah.
It has a very anthem feel to it. What made you go that direction instead of a like I don't know, like more of an intense like slam my foot down and sing this
Right.
to the the mountaintops without the catchiness? Because some songs have the place of like, oh, I'm gonna sing this along and
Right.
catchy.
Yeah.
This is a great time. We're all
Yeah.
good. You know what I mean? The Decemberists are really big. They have the saddest songs,
Right.
and the
And
singer,
catchy
and he's
tunes, right?
so catchy. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, you like when you read the lyrics of December songs, you're like, dude, what happened to you, man? And like, what happened that you're writing these sad songs, but the music is so like upstrumming, poppy. Like we're having a great time over here, but really he's talking about a missing child that's buried under the city. What happened to this child? And he's
Right.
singing catchy songs. So what was your take on making it so catchy, making it lighthearted, but with such a deep, sad situation that you obviously went through?
Right.
What brought you there?
Well, so when I was doing the chorus, what I was envisioning was not just my story
Sure.
of trafficking, but I don't know anyone that I have met that hasn't overcome something that they felt like, oh my God, that's a miracle that I got there. And so when I was writing the chorus, I literally had a vision of this huge arena of people singing that chorus. I'm so amazed that my life was saved. I bow my head, I give my praise. Thank you, Grace. I mean, and just like,
Okay.
and they've
like
all been
arena,
through
people would
something.
just
wanted to pretty much like the story out there, and people who could relate to it, you want to bring them all together.
Well, relate to my story or relate to over just having grace in their life. I mean, he's had a moment of grace through his experience, so it's like, oh my God, yeah, I'm so amazed that my life was saved. So I'm going to thank you, Grace. So that's what I was envisioning, was like that, people bringing people together and singing that chorus, even if they couldn't hear any of the other words.
in unison. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Every person I've played it for, every single one, literally has cried.
Yeah,
Every person.
it's great. And the melodic sound to it too is incredible, man. Like it's very, it's got this talking rap to it, right? That
Yeah.
sits here and then it jumps up to the singing part, and it's
Yeah.
like there's something so relatable to that, where it's not like the 21 Pilot, like that car radio song, I think is so genius, man. And that do you know the song I'm talking about?
But I know the group.
It's
yeah.
crazy how intertwined the two songs are, because he's talking about
he's literally talking.
he's
He doesn't
talking
even have
yeah.
to do much. He's just talking, and it's super impactful.
Yeah, and like it's something as simple as
Right,
like
right.
somebody stole his car radio. But like the way that he's talking about it, and it's just like it jumps up and then it brings back down to
Right.
like to the relatable moment, and then he jumps up to where 21 Pilots are, where they're screaming and getting that like amped version, and
Yeah.
that's a lot how your song is, how you got that relatable moment, and then you jump up, and then you got that relatable moment where like people can latch on. Like I said, within 20 seconds, this dude's humming the song over here. So
Right.
like doesn't know the lyrics yet, but
Right.
he's over here, and I hear him as we're listening to it. It's like if you, my dad always said, if you want an unbiased opinion of a good song, put it in front of a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
He's like that kid doesn't know what the lyrics are. That kid doesn't know how, like, what the lyrics are making them feel. But if the sound that you produce behind it, if it makes that kid jump and bounce around and feel good, the lyrics are a bonus, right? Because if you can get that 2-year-old to listen to it without any biased opinion, then you're really onto something. My dad was never a musician. I'm like, where you come up with like what? Like, how do you like decipher these things? Like, he's never played an instrument in his. He knew one string on the piano that he would play. We had a baby grand piano at the house, and he just liked using these black keys with the white keys, and he would do this little slip that kind of sounded like a Ray Charles thing that he did, and he just loved it. And he just kept doing it over and over. But I'm like, he's never been a musician, but he's got this like sense of reality where he knows life. Like, my dad was
Yeah.
really good at knowing life. So like whether he knew music or not, he knew how to relate to it, man. And that's a lot how people are today without music, man. A lot of us would be lost.
Oh yeah, we would.
Yeah.
I think music is not only a great connector, of course, because it connects people.
It's an outlet.
It's an outlet.
Yeah.
It allows you to take whatever you're feeling. Whether a lot of people sing about relationships, people sing about traumas, people sing even about like the happiest times of their life, and when they put it in the universe, someone out there, even you've never met them, is going to take that tune in, and they're automatically going to fit in the same space. And now you're sitting in the same room inside your head, inside like we all sit in like we're on different playing fields. So like all of a sudden you're sitting on the same room as somebody else, and you can't physically see them, but you're like as a fan. That's why when fans come to the concerts and they're all like getting with the artist, like that is such an impactful moment. And when people like bring out their like flashlights and everyone's holding it up, that's why it's so huge, because everyone at that moment, everyone in the room is there for the same reason.
Yeah.
Politically difference, religious
Right, it
difference,
drops
whatever,
all that,
it drops
right?
everything, and you're just there. And that's why I love live music. That's why I've stayed involved with it, because I think it brings the realist out of people. Because
sure.
like people,
There's nothing better than music, man.
yeah, man, and like it'll create tears where there's nothing to be
Therapy.
sad about,
Yeah.
nothing to be sad about, and you're still crying.
Have you had moments where people come up to you and tell you that that song's changed your life, and you don't know who they are, and you're just like, man, this is.
I've been at restaurants and people will start talking to me like they know me, and I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, I heard you, whether it was this song or one of my other songs, they'll just be like, I heard you, and like it changed my life.
Is that all you need to create a next album? Is just that like fire of strangers going, hey, I
don't even need that,
hearing
but
it.
that's just nice motivation.
Yeah,
I just
it's
create.
a cherry
I
on
mean,
top.
create
I
all the
think. I think
time,
it's self motivators.
Yeah.
We're self motivators ourselves. Everyone in here is self motivated. If you weren't, you wouldn't be able to do. If you have to need someone to motivate you, other than like maybe seeing other people do it, but like you've gotta be able to get yourself up every morning to do so.
He's lying. I've got a taser in the back that like a cow prod. I'm
Right,
like
yeah.
him and Tyrell.
Let's get
I'm
us tased. No, yeah.
One thing on the subject of music and the communication, Kim and I never talked about what she wanted to hear in that song or what she meant. And CJ and I, when we were mixing this thing, after the rap part, first we made it so we could really hear the words because we wanted to hear a message.
Yeah.
But the first thing, we looked at each other and almost at the exact same time, this is a freaking anthem.
Yeah.
And
That's what I use.
she
yeah.
was so clear in communicating her emotion through that music. We all got it without talking about it.
That's awesome, man.
And when you talk about the 21 Pilots, the song that it reminds me of, I Can Only Imagine. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he lived through, he was beaten by his father.
Yeah.
If you watch that movie, it's a powerful, when I heard Grace, it gave me that feeling. I mean, I got goosebumps. I'm driving in the car crying. I'm like, oh my God.
And you're a part of it now. You're plugged in.
And like I said, it just stuck with me. And I played it for people. I played it for, like I said, the program director at Maddie's house. And when I was like all of this, when I wanted to develop this music therapy, because that's kind of like a next step for me in the programming that we're doing and all that kind of stuff, I want a music therapy because, again, when we were talking about it, music heals like no other. And so
You
we
want
want
some?
people to come together.
Kurt, can
And
you grab Toby a glass?
And we want people to be able to, have that
Just grab him a blank
experience
glass. Sorry.
where the music takes them. Because, there's that song. If you think about it, when you think about hard times in your life, when I went through divorce, Mariah Carey, the song about, oh gosh, I'll have to think of the name of it. But anyway, I remember that song. When I hear that song, I go back to that place at
Yeah.
that time.
Oh, yeah.
And so music can take you to times in your life, but music can also, it can heal. And then when you put the right rhythms and you put the right hurts, like you were talking about, and you put the sound bowls in there, people are in there playing music, but they're also getting a chakra balancing. They're also getting a healing. And when they come out, you've shifted them. They feel like a different person.
For sure.
And
I want
that's
to know
what I
more about
wanted.
that chakra balance, man, because like I was saying, like we don't know, like we haven't been around too long, so we don't know like the longevity of.
Okay,
of-
you can come out to the Genius Lab. Toby and I will put you on the table and we'll tag team.
There you go.
As long as I can hear some good music, I'm good. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And I'm probably I need to dip out at
I was
9:30.
gonna say.
So let me know what else you want to know between
Yeah,
now and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
so
Absolutely.
I
So
can
we'll-
give
so-
you what you need.
We'll give you the next 20 minutes, and then we're gonna end it off on Pamela with the TheLotusSanctuary. So is there anything else you want to talk about? Is there anything that we didn't hit?
No, I mean I just want people to know that this song is not. I don't want it to be like, well, if I wasn't trafficked, let me turn it off or whatever. I want you to know, like, this is about going through something and feeling like, oh my God, I'm here.
Yeah.
And that's
different
what it's
journeys.
about.
It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be the same journey because we not. There's
Totally.
no way we can live it. Obviously, Jay's journey is different than yours.
Right.
My journey is different than Pamela's. So on and so forth. Toby as well. So like we're all living in a different, but same world because we're all in the same. We're all.
Right.
Yeah. We're all exposed to much the same environments because we're in the same area.
Right.
But at the same time, with music, with this kind of thing, when you're dealing with a moment like I've dealt with a really extreme relationship situation where it got abusive, and it took me a long time to be comfortable, even when I lived at that
Cheers,
same
buddy.
when I lived in the same place. It took me a long time to be comfortable even coming home for it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it was weird. Like I had friends over, and I'd be looking out the window, like, are they gonna show up? Like, are they gonna just interrupt my good time here? But they were never coming. I just in my head, I was like, all right, this is
Right.
what's real
That's a trauma response.
That's trauma.
for
Yeah.
sure.
And that's
for
and
sure.
that's a PTSD thing. If you have PTSD from any source, I don't care what it is, there are responses like that. It alters your life in ways that you don't know until they're brought to your attention. That's all. The way you make decisions. I mean, everything about your life is different, and is until you start dealing with those things, it's not gonna.
Yeah, at this point, I'm good. It took me a little while. It took me like probably 6 months, and then I moved to a new spot, and the weight was lifted. But then for a while, like I had friends over, and I was like, "Is my good time tonight going to be ruined by this person coming, just showing up randomly?" And like they weren't coming around. Like it was a whole thing, but like I still had that feeling for a long time after that whole situation, dissipated. But like it was so real to me because I would like look out the window like on a Tuesday night. I'm like, are they gonna be here? Like, can I have friends over tonight? It's my house. You know what I mean?
And it
that
comes in dreams.
It did, yeah.
There's people that have night terrors or dreams about their different things, or again situations like that where people chase them, or different things come out of those.
You remember?
Those feelings.
You remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very traumatic. Like it just, and like you said, like the trauma that came behind that was so real to me, even beyond. It was months later. Like they were already obviously way moved on to their life, doing their thing, and I wish them well, do their thing. But like I was still feeling like on my Friday night, like when I leave my house and go to work, are my dogs, like everything cool? Like is my house gonna get broken into and my stuff stolen? Like I was just, so many things crossed my mind every single day.
And it consumes your life,
It
man.
consumed
Where you're just
me.
worried and worried.
I was worried all the time because I
yeah.
knew they knew how to get in. Like I knew that there was like, my house was an older house in Covington. I knew they knew how to get in. As they lived there. At one point, I was like, man, like what happens if I come home at like 2 a.m. after my job and they're there?
Right.
But like they weren't gonna show up. They were moved on. I had gotten the police involved and a bunch of stuff had happened. But like I was just like, what if? That what if was so powerful that something like that song or just anything could have lessened that burden. And
we've talked about this before. How it's crazy how the brain is stronger than the heart. Like that this can tell you this isn't worth it anymore. Like the fact that this little thing inside your skull can be like, you aren't worth it. You should shut yourself up. We should shut all this down right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then go and commit suicide. Like it's crazy that the brain is that powerful, that it's stronger than the heart. You know, that's pumping the blood in your own system and that's making you live, that your brain can go, hey dude, you're not worth it. Like stop pumping this stuff. It's not like you're not doing any good, which is crazy to think because everyone's got, these kids that are killing themselves at 18 years old, man. Like I had no clue where I was at 18. Let alone like social influence and to like beat me down. You know, I mean, to get to the point where I'm stronger enough to go past it. But it's like
when you were 18, the internet wasn't even affecting you. 'cause there
social
was no
media.
internet.
oh, thanks,
definitely
bro.
affects-
Yeah. No, the internet wasn't even around when I was 18. It's cool.
I'm just gonna
media
say,
affects it,
not to
but-
expose your age, but
No,
me
I
too.
got it.
When I was 18, the internet was growing. I mean, Facebook had just got started.
Thank God
Because
that I wasn't.
we live in
I
a
wasn't around.
world where, like, my little brother Landon, who is 16 years old, well, 17, and he is just dealing with the straight internet in his face constantly, and the parade of insults and bullying that
It's
happens
crazy, dude.
is there's no regulation, and that needs change. That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah,
but
that needs to be changed.
yes, it does. It does.
Well,
Wait.
there's a lot more pressure out there, and again, kids get PTSD from that.
Oh
you
yeah.
know, from being bullied and being, you know, semi-tortured in their school settings. It's gone. You know, again, what was that? Like a 9-year-old here locally.
Killed himself.
Yeah.
Man.
It was at the Kentucky school.
I think I
was
remember that.
9-year-old?
A year or so ago. Yeah.
You're
yeah.
not even started on
I,
anything.
I remember that news article. I don't remember like the story of it, but it was so disheartening to think that a 9-year-old couldn't think that, you know, my life isn't like he thought that my life wasn't worth it, that he had to go and kill himself.
even
Or
know
she,
what-
I think it might have been a female, right?
No, but I think it was a little boy.
Okay.
But I mean, there's a lot. I mean, you could look up the stories; they're all over. But like that happened right here.
Yeah,
So,
there was
you
an
know.
18-year-old who killed herself. She was a social influencer, had hundreds of thousands of likes on all of her photos, and she ended up killing herself, man. It's just like,
Yeah.
man, like,
Yeah, those situations, she's highly exposed.
Highly exposed,
when you're
bro.
exposed like that, and you're in the flood of messages that are coming in, I can only imagine.
as a parent, how do you regulate that? Because you want your kid to be free, you want them to express themselves and be a
Can't.
part of society, which society this day is like all social media, right?
Yeah.
So like, you want them to go ahead and not expose themselves, but express themselves to a way where, you know, they can be themselves online. But as soon as somebody starts going, why are you wearing makeup? Why are you doing this? Why are you mascara? Like,
geek,
Yeah.
geek, like whatever. Like, it's like there's. I don't know if there's a way to really regulate that because we all run on the same social media construct. So messages are being.
I think the only way to combat it is people like them that
Yeah.
are here to say, hey, like we
Yeah.
made it through. We
Yeah.
made it through. Like
an internal
you-
battle.
Yeah, like whatever you went through was way harsher than social media influencing. But if you can get to the point where you say, hey, like it's bullying at any extent, you know, just try to just wait till the dust settles, man. It's so hard being
Trauma
a
is
kid
trauma.
these days.
Yeah, but
Trauma
the-
is trauma. So
trauma is something
I
in the-
try
so-
to say that, like bullying, whatever it is,
The
it
brain
doesn't matter
is
the
in-
way
Trauma's
that
trauma.
someone reacts to it. If someone reacts to something that might look like not a big deal, but they react to it as I can't go on,
The
trauma is trauma. It levels the playing field.
The,
Right
the,
there.
the hardest thing you ever went through is the hardest thing you ever went through. Joe Rogan says this all the time, and it's amazing because he was talking just yesterday about how the most traumatic thing you ever been through is the most traumatic thing you ever been through. So if it's a kid, and like we were talking about Charlie, like she was at a party and that she had to leave the party to come here
my
to
fault.
get picked up, but she was crying the whole time that she was here, screaming, crying. It was like, that's the most traumatic thing that's happened to her. Like, she hasn't had any other experiences other than this, so she doesn't know how to react to it. And that's one of those things where you've got to like,
Sorry, Charlie. I feel bad. It was my fault.
you know
Yeah.
what? But those things that was one of the most traumatic things that ever happened to her, which
Yeah.
is having to be pulled away from a party.
Yeah, pulled away. It was one of the things. But
Yeah,
like in
there-
her
yeah.
little 3-year-old world, it was
Right.
like
That was
she was pulled up
traumatic
from a
to her.
great situation, and
It doesn't matter what you've been through. The hardest thing that you've dealt with is the hardest thing you dealt with, whether it be a car getting a flat tire.
Yeah.
You know, like
on the side of a highway and raining, and all. Of a
yeah,
sudden
and then
you're-
somebody's like, that's the hardest thing they've ever dealt with. But like for you and I, like I've gotten my ear bit off, my left eye detached. So when my car breaks down on the side of the highway, I kick a rock. And I'm like,
irritated,
fuck me.
irritated, right? Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Relative,
because that's
right,
not the
yeah.
hardest thing I've ever
Yeah.
been through.
Right.
These things that I've been through in like my generation. I ain't speaking on
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sense and stuff like that. Like I just lost a friend that worked at your house. Her name was Crystal. I lost her 2.5 weeks ago.
Oh, sorry to hear that, man. Yeah.
To prescription drugs.
Yes. And
That's a huge issue in the world today, man.
Marco,
Marco?
man,
He's about to get teary-eyed over this one.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Yeah. See, and he's experiencing the trauma of it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm not doing this for this fucking camera, none of that shit.
no.
I don't really have nobody to talk to about this for real though. But
Yeah.
You got us,
Yes,
bro.
you do.
I lost
Now you
my
do.
friend Derek Stewart to Xanax.
Yeah.
You feel what I mean? You can ask Jalen.
Yeah.
I told him about it. You feel me? Like, man, this shit crazy.
Yeah, and also the people living in households, and especially children, where those things are happening. Those are, and with COVID, what everybody's been through, everybody's been, if you've got, not a good home environment, and now you've been in it, where you couldn't leave, you didn't get to go to school, you didn't get that break.
Right.
I mean, the domestic violence and, other kinds of those kinds of things. All of the reports and all the statistics are through the roof right now. And people in general, the people that were in a hospital room and thought they were going to die alone, they made it, but they thought at the time, those people have PTSD. There's so many things.
But I want to acknowledge, he shared just now, I've not talked to anybody about this.
Yeah.
And so just bringing it back to you for a moment, just because this is real and present, right? In
Kurt,
this
you want
moment,
to sit down here
that's
real
what
quick
it's about. Yeah.
All right.
I want to give him a hug. That's what I want to do. I'm
Yeah.
going out there. But the song, that's what it's for right there. That's it's trauma. That's trauma. That's what I'm talking about right there. And so if we can keep it present to, he just said, I've not talked to anybody. I don't have anybody to talk to. That's what it's about right there. Yeah. So.
Like everybody pretty much looked up to me.
Right. And so I'm just acknowledging and honoring you and where you are in your world, and thank you for showing up the way that you do.
Yeah,
I
man.
didn't know.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't tell us that.
Yeah.
He doesn't tell us this,
so
and that's
I just want you to know. You're doing
we're
a great job.
we're
and
all
I see
going
you.
through it, and that's a prime example of.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my homie. Like he's here like 4 days, 3 days a week, and we didn't know anything about this. But people don't want to speak up about it.
Right. That's what. Right.
Bro, like you know what I mean? Like that. That's the thing. Like,
Talk to y'all about that. Y'all might think that shit weird or something.
bro, and man, like you can always come to us about that stuff, man. We've all been through trauma and the whole thing, man. So like, even though like you feel like when you come in here, it's got to be all prim and
Send me a
proper.
message. I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah, there you go, man. Like, and that's the thing. That's why we're having this conversation.
We all boys, so we'll get together and we'll talk about how our day going and stuff. But, like,
Yeah.
some stuff just don't.
I know. I understand.
There's
and
not a
I'm just so-
platform for it, and that's where you find.
This could have been off camera for real.
Yeah.
No, but I'm glad that you said it because that's the most relevant thing to me that just came out of this whole thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You just said exactly why I do what I do.
100%.
Is because of what just happened right there. So thank you. You were vulnerable and real right in the moment. So thank you.
Yeah, we had no
Yeah.
clue,
Yeah.
no clue about
And
any of
that's
it.
what happens when I share my music. People just
That-
they don't feel alone.
get
and
it
something
out.
within them is like, I want to talk about this.
It's
right?
something
Yeah,
that's
so-
been like just like consuming his. I'm sure it's done more than just
grief.
consume
There's-
his life, right? Like you've got this weight on your shoulders of what happened, and you like you said, what I'm going to do? Come down here and talk to you guys about it? Fuck yeah, you're going to come down here and talk to us about it, bro, because we're friends.
Right.
We're friends, man. I'm not gonna laugh at you and say, bro, you got emotions. This is crazy. Like, talk to me, bro. Give me a hug. Come in and
Probably
give me
just
a
not
hug,
the
man.
space or whatever, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the prime example
Yeah.
of the reason why we're talking about it today is
Yeah.
because of the fact that people don't want to show their emotion. They don't want to put their heart on the sleeve. They don't want to say I've been abused or
Yeah.
my friend got hurt or something happened or my friend died. Like
Right.
we're just supposed to as men, we're just supposed to like
Exactly.
swallow
That's why
it,
I wanted
swallow
to
it,
acknowledge what he just
get it down the
did.
throat, and then that's it. We're good.
Yeah, it was huge. What he did was huge just now, and that's why I said let's bring it back to that because that's a huge
I
deal.
appreciate you.
Yeah, because I don't
for
want to take the
noticing that,
focus
yeah.
off of that and be like he'll just fade to the background again and not talk about it, and that's what happens a lot of times to people when they, especially men, that
For
are
sure.
trying to, and here he is a black man, so he's trying to, hold it together as a black man, and he's being held to a standard. That,
Of course, yeah, he's got to be cooler than the
Yeah,
rest.
boys aren't supposed to cry,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or boys aren't supposed to have emotions.
Yeah.
Like we always been taught and raised not like whatever happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Stiff upper
Just
lip.
keep on going, right? Yeah.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. All of
right.
that,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I-
I just want to. I didn't want to like digress too far off of that.
No,
because
for sure.
it was a huge moment for me personally.
The reason why I speak up on it is just simply because I'm the oldest in the family.
Mm-hmm.
Stepbrothers or blood, sister blood. You know what I'm saying? Like just like that.
Yeah.
So like I said, I ain't like I'm about to just come here. What's up, Drew? Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
But-
right.
Just come here, like so.
Right.
It is hard. It is hard to determine time and place to say stuff of
Yeah.
that
But
magnitude.
that's what I want people to know is they're not on that island, even if it feels like it. They're not
Exactly.
on the island.
That's
but
the
I
truth.
understand
Exactly.
because I still feel that, and I'm doing all this healing. I have community around me everywhere, and I can go within and be like, I can start telling the story, and the only thing I got going for me is some practices that get me back where I can connect this to this,
There you go.
and that's it.
Yep.
Good
Why
for
do
you,
why do
man.
you think? I know we've talked about like men not being able to express their emotions on that front, and women being more open to do so. Whatever. Why do you think it's taking so long for us to get to that even space? So like we talk a lot about men's mental health now. It's a pretty common topic, and on all
Bro,
platforms.
I'm gonna tell you right now, dude. When you've got people like Tyrese, is that I think it was Tyrese, who went on social media crying about not being able to see his kid. Everyone in social
They
media
dogged him,
dogged
right?
him. They all ripped on him for crying on social media about not seeing your kid.
Right.
But he was saying he was giving that moment saying, hey, I've got children that I can't see because my wife doesn't let me see them. I want to see my babies. And he was crying to the internet, pleading to I just want to see my kids.
Yeah.
Hey, what did the internet do, bro? They dogged him. They ripped him apart for
So
crying over the
why
whole
is the
situation.
internet dogging? Why is the first
be-
reaction?
because-
what is the
So
basis?
what
Yeah.
are you doing? So it's going to take the community, the same as me standing up and speaking out about human trafficking and telling my story, and knowing that there's a community that will come forward. But even if they don't, I'm speaking it for a different reason. But the community is going to have to come forward. There's going to have to be other men that come forward and say, oh my God, thank you for doing that. I see you.
Yeah.
I feel you. And that's what's going to take that away, because right now they're still raising the boys to say, boys don't cry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Feel things,
100%.
vulnerability. It's a societal
Chuck it down.
thing.
Yeah.
Put it inside that
Yeah,
chest.
you don't
and-
talk about that. Yeah,
The-
because you
the
got to
most
be the man
famous-
of the
Barrel
family,
it
right?
down.
You probably
The,
got
and
that.
I
You gotta be
quote,
the man of the
"Suck it up,
family. Yeah.
suck it up, suck it up" is
Yeah.
like put that on a shirt.
Right.
Suck it up, man. Like just suck it up.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Suck it up.
Right.
And like that, those words are so powerful because you're dealing with a moment of vulnerability, and you're dealing with a moment of just sadness or struggle, whether it's tears involved or not, or just anger, and someone says suck it up, and you're like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna just
So what does that do?
I guess
It
what are we
just
getting?
misses
Are we
just-
what are we
just-
what are we
just
getting
dig
for
it
food
deep
now?
down.
What are we
Everything
getting for
that you
food
just
now? Like
feel.
you want to move on to the basic
Yeah.
normal action. So and then you go through your lunch, and then before you know it, you've moved on, and it dissipates into the
Right.
deep of your soul, and
Right.
it gets put in that little closet.
Yeah, it's dismissive. So you compartmentalize
Dismissive,
it. And then
yes.
what happens is you internalize the emotions, and then you do what happens to those emotions in the body. There's a few things that can happen. You can become addicted to things. You can become angry. You can become a workaholic. You do a lot of things, but you're never actually feeling the emotions. And our society does not have a place for men to feel emotions and be vulnerable. It doesn't really have a place for vulnerability in general, but for men, it's like non-existent.
Non-existent, yeah.
And so it's going to take other men coming forward and being like, dude, I support that because I feel things too. It's going to take you know, being able to step up, and it takes an act of courage when you've been raised to not speak about things.
Yeah.
So I
Exactly.
just want to acknowledge that's why I brought it back to him, because I didn't want him to feel dismissed. As soon as you feel dismissed, it's one more thing that says, "Oh, I shouldn't talk about that."
Right, for
You
sure.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel dismissed.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's been going on so long. So
Right.
it's like,
It's natural, right? It feels normal. Yeah.
Well, and I think this is an opportunity too to use a tool like music. You know, I was working with a guy from New York last night, and he's telling me what's going on. And
chapters in it.
I'm like, "What's your story?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me your story. Tell me about your friends. I would love each one of those friends can be a verse in a song.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let it out.
And you create that, and you tell
Emotion.
their story, just like she told her story in Grace.
Yeah.
You know, we can all tell our stories, and sure, culture might not allow us to be as vulnerable as we might want to be, or not feel safe being vulnerable.
Right.
But we can write a song.
Right.
And it's going to relate to a lot more people than you think.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
being
And
able to put it
sometimes,
out there.
sometimes that song might be sad and melancholy and kind of mellow, or sometimes it just might be a fucking kick-ass song, you know, like I'm fucking pissed,
Right.
and you know, you can hear the minor guitar chords, you know,
Right.
hammering out there, and the drum going like a
Dude, I
maniac.
listen to that stuff
you know,
sometimes when I'm
and
feeling stuff.
and
Oh yeah.
there's room for all of it. And the
Yeah.
thing that music does is it allows everybody's welcome in the place of music.
Yeah, there's a big outlet when it comes to music, man. Whether you know when everything's suppressed, you can hear a song, and you know you might not know who the person is. It could be Kim Belew, and all of a sudden, you know, you've got this new song that just resonates, and it hits a nerve inside here that just changes your entire outlook on everything. And that's what music's about, man. Is to reach other people, to hit a nerve that you didn't think that was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think it gives people permission to express.
For sure.
You know?
For sure. And that's the big thing is permission, because he hasn't said a single thing about this, right? And he's been here 3 times this week already. So it's like for him to go ahead and pop it out now and say it, it's like, you know, that it shows that what we're doing here is doing its course, right? It's making its
That's the
path.
impact.
This is why we do what we do.
That's the
Yeah,
impact right
for
there.
sure.
Yeah.
And I just am saying, reach out to me privately if you want to. I'll hold space for you. You know what I mean?
You
Like,
guys should do a song together.
Yeah. So.
That would be cool as shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So.
I used to like have my inbox open when I was playing music, that metal heavy stuff we did earlier, screaming stuff. But part of mine was always about the message. Our merch, we had like "You are not alone in this." A lot of it was bully prevention. I was bullied younger, as a smaller statured guy early on, and like big part of it was like. The EP was called The Influence of Monsters. So it was your monsters in your head. Each one of us had a representation of that. I had a little nonprofit that I had started called the Monsters Project. And it was all about other people being able to relate or at least find a place in what we were doing. Because I was just like, all right, you may not really be into metal, but I know my message, it will resonate because I'm dealing with something that I'm sure others are dealing with it in the music scene. We've got everyone sitting here. We're all wearing black, and we're all doing the same thing. Like we're all relating to some degree. Like we're sticking out like sore thumbs at the mall, and because mall rat culture was really big at that point.
Hey, I missed that.
I was a mall rat. Yeah, Florence Mall for
Friday
sure.
nights.
For sure. I mean, I probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for my mall rat culture, man. I learned a lot from Cosmic, that store, and just the world that I was in. But with that being said, is like my lyrics, my thought process was like, all right, I want to make the lyrics simple. I want people to understand that's far younger than me, because I was 25 years old. I was past the point of being majorly influenced at a younger age, but I was like, you know what? A lot of the people that are going to listen to my music are heavily influenced at this time. So I should write the lyrics to where I was 8 years ago, kind of thought process. 8 years to 25, so about 17. And like, I just really wanted people to understand that you're not alone in this, because we're living in like a society where like people have no problem pushing you aside, beating you down and then be like, all right, well, he's done. I'm going to go ahead and have a good day. And he's got to deal whatever, whatever. But like, I thought, you know what? Like, if I can put music out there that they can like gravitate to me, I don't care if they come to a show. I just want them to like send me a message. So I would always do like, send me a message if you need help. And I would get a flood of messages from people. And like, I'm like, hey, what's up, Katie? I'm so sorry that happened to you. What's up, Steve? I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I would get off work at like 2 p.m. at my catering job, go home, and I would sit on my computer from like 2 to like 10 p.m. I would send personal messages, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, eventually become thousands of messages that I would send out, because my goal was to get the band further along, but I would answer everybody personally. And I didn't realize I was impacting somebody until down the line when people saw me in person, like, man, you messaged me. And I got a bunch of people saying it. I'm like, man, I was just like hoping someone would do it for me. Yeah, someone do it for me. And I just want to answer it. I'm quick with it. Like, I'm fast at what I gotta really, I'm really good response with. Like, now I'm not as much on that. I like burn myself out of the cell phone now. I will put my phone aside. He understands now. He's getting it. But like, I burn myself out because I used to sit behind my phone and my computer for 8 hours a day after working 8 hours to just answer and send messages every day, 7 days a week. I did it all the time. I was just like, because I was living in this place where I had band practice out of the same house. I had band practice in Fort Thomas. I would go upstairs between practice and I would just answer messages and I would just do it constantly. But people were reaching out and they were taking their time to do so. And I just saw that as significant. I was they're taking their time to do that for me. And I would send out a message on Ocean Grid's page. I'm like, whoever needs help, send me a message. Send it right here. I'm here. I'm open. And they would just do it. And so many people would actually send messages. I'm like, that's working. And I looked at it as a marketing tool at the same time as helping. Yeah, I was just like looking at it as double.
I don't think about it as marketing at all.
At the time, I was just like, how can I get my band out? Because my band is sending a message. Yeah. So like, to me, the message was more important than the music. So like, if my message is getting out there, because I also wanted to push my band forward at the same time as send my message, because they were one and the same. Right. And so like, I was marketing, and like, I dealt with the PTSD. I dealt with all my stuff that I was dealing with, and I was like, you know what? I got to put that aside, because I need these people to understand that they are not by themselves. And if they're not by themselves, because I thought I was by myself, right, but now I'm not. So like, if they're not feeling it, I gotta market myself. I gotta put myself out there, and they're gonna send me messages, and they did. And I got so many. If I go down to my Facebook, like if you scroll like for like 8 years from now, you'll see messages galore from people. And like, at the time, I was just like in the heat of it, and it was looking back and thinking back on it, like, I don't know any of I know minimal of their stories, but I know they took the time to reach out. And you're not reaching out unless you're dealing with something. Why else would you send me a message? Right. You know what I mean? Like, and they had to be something deep. And we had these "You Are Not Alone in This," "You Are Not Alone in This" T-shirts, Ocean Grid, like it was a whole thing, and people were buying them up like crazy. And I was like, man, this is so cool. And like, I thought it was the marketing, but it was really like trauma that these humans were dealing with.
Yeah, they were finding a human connection.
And they saw me. They saw me as a person that they could relate to, and they would just shoot the message in. And I had people message me 3 or 4 times before I could even get to it in 15 minutes. They just wanted to put themselves at the top of the. Yeah,
it's totally cool.
With the internet.
Yeah.
And like, I really, looking back on that, I wish I would have like, I knew the severity of it. And now as I'm a 34-year-old adult, man, like, even mid-20s, you don't fully understand. You're just like, I'm in the heart of music. I'm in the heart of what I'm doing. But my impact was it was pretty great, honestly. I feel like, I feel really like at this current second on this podcast, I feel like happy and relieved that I actually took the time to take that effort without even realizing that I was just trying to like, do my thing. I had a message. I had one guy come up to me one time like, your lyrics are super basic. Right. Have you wrote those things for a child? I was like, I actually wrote them for 15-year-olds, for someone that doesn't really know what they're doing. And he kind of put his tail between his legs and moved on. But like, But that moment of him like, you're basic, bro. Those lyrics, anyone can understand those. I'm like, well, I'm not trying to confuse anybody, man. I'm not trying to do some deep metaphors. I understand. I went to college as an English lit major, bro. I understand the depth of communication and writing. I get that, but I was trying to really like hone in on a certain group of people that I was far older than. I was already past that, like in the sense of like successful life.
I think when you write from your soul, like for me, I don't ever think about my age or the age of who's going to listen. I write from my heart.
Sure.
And whoever's heart it reaches is whose heart it reaches. And I have fans from every age, from like 8 years old to 80. You know, and that's the way that works. That's the way music works for me. It has nothing to do with a specific audience except for you've been through something.
Yeah. I didn't like, now I would look at it like that. I would say in my more wiser years, but back then I was always told by labels and stuff to like hit a demographic, hit it 100 miles per hour, and then expand your demographic by year as you go, and make it more poppy and make it more digestible for everybody. And over time, make your choruses catchier and just expand. But at the time, they're like, hit a demographic, hit your 15 to 18, and that's where your money's at. And I was like, all right, but I was like, I need a message to say. The message is more important. I'm a frontman of a metal band with no tattoos, so like there's a lot of things I was overcoming in that own culture. So I was like, all right, how can I path of least resistance to get to these people and get them out here listening to my stuff? It was a challenge, but the amount of messages that I could look back on, like I'm sure I've got some stories in there that I didn't even realize the seriousness of at the time, because like I was receiving tons of them. I mean, we got really popular really quick, so it was really cool to see like that flooding of stuff just because of local people that were like, man, this resonates with me. I'm about this. And I mean, to this day, people come out and they'll see me out and about like, what are you doing? You're not doing music anymore? I'm like, I'm focused at Native. I've got things have changed, but like, they're like, man, your music changed my life 10 years ago, like whatever. So like, I don't know. I think that, like we talked about, music is so powerful, and the grace that it even gives you to allow your like spirit to like just be out there, you know what I mean? Like and people can jump on the lily pad. And you know, and more they're on the ship now, and then I don't know. It's just it's so powerful, and I'm really appreciative of you coming on. I know it's 9:30, and you gotta dip out.
So I just want to thank you guys.
Yes, thank you
for sure, Kim. So it's KimBelew.com.
KimBelew.com.
BELEW.com.
Yeah, and if you go on that website, you can hear some of my songs. My TED Talk. It'll connect you to all my social media. So that's the place to go, to the one-stop shop for me. And you'll see future shows. I travel a lot and do music and speaking. So you'll be able to see
cool. Maybe we can get something together over at Madison Live. It'd be cool to do something specific for
we're trying to do an open mic. I've been trying to put that together.
There you go. That might be
do
perfect
a Madison
for
Live thing.
Yeah,
Thank you guys
definitely.
So
We
much.
can. I can make
Toby,
that
anything you want to plug? You ready to get out of here?
Oh yeah, I gotta head out. Hey, it's just been great hanging with you guys. I just can't tell you what a pleasure it's been.
I'm gonna follow you out of here. We're gonna make sure we get your number down, man. So
awesome,
we can keep in contact. Awesome. I want to stop down at the studio. Maybe we can bring a camera down there.
Absolutely.
Bring our film guy.
Come down on a Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Happy hour. Yeah.
Amen. All right, man. I appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you very much. And we're gonna end it on Pamila, because she there is some other things going on with the TheLotusSanctuary. So you've got a monthly healing in December. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, we're gonna try to resume our monthly healing sessions.
You're good.
No worries, we got it. No worries.
We got too many cords down there.
Yeah, you're good.
And so
you just killed the troll.
With
Troll
what we're
caution.
doing, with You're the Hope, we're doing a 3-month campaign.
Hold on, I gotta give her a hug. I gotta give both these people a hug before we get out of here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, continue, Pam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all I was saying was, this is a 3-month campaign that we're doing, and this is one of the ways that we're fundraising. We have on our website, on our Facebook page, we have a whole free funder set up, and there's various ways. We're going to have T-shirts, which Jay's creating.
Yeah.
Hear the Hope is one way you can donate. We're looking for volunteers. We're looking for people who want to get involved as a healer. If you are a person kind of like, the person that spoke up tonight, and you need somebody to talk to, definitely reach out to us. We do a lot of outreach in the community, and so we just want to put that out there that, you know, we're on a rebuild mode and raising money, and this is one of the ways that you can do it is to download Kim's song. We're going to try to do 4,000 downloads over the next 3 months. I don't know what that is a week over 12 weeks, but it's a fair amount. So that's our goal, though, is to do 10,000 or 4,000 downloads.
So
as a
1,000 downloads a week.
Well, no, 12 weeks, 4,000 downloads total.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So it's a little bit more than that. I didn't do the math on it, but you know, we feel like that the song, you know, will speak to a lot of people, and you know, and that's one way you can donate. But you can also just donate directly on our free funder. So if you know, our part of things speaks to anyone, but our goal is to create a music therapy program. That's one of the things that we want to do, is to bring in the singing bowls and the drums, and you know, I'm going to have people like Toby and Kim and different people in the community, different healers come in, but it's also going to be journaling. It's also going to be, you know, the person's going to actually play instruments and actually create music while they're in the class.
For sure.
Yeah, so we're hoping to do it bi-monthly. Got a couple locations because we don't have our own space yet. That's the other thing that we're creating, is trying to get everything back on the ground. You know, step out of, you know, 2020 and back into, you know, into life and into making people better.
Oh yeah. So where would you like to host these type of things? Would it be like coffee shops, or could it be?
Well, I've talked with somebody. I talked to the guy that you told me about at Flow.
Yeah,
so that's
right.
a potential right
Reese.
there. Yeah, we talked about some dates in November. It'll be either November. It'll probably be the last couple weeks of November is what we're planning on right now. But it's going to be PTSD and veterans. And November is Veterans Awareness Month.
Okay.
And so we definitely want to, I'm getting ready to start doing meditation with a group in a VA group in Norwood. So we're going to do a meditation class at their facility.
Oh, very
so I can
cool.
do that. I can come out and do something at your place, or we're going to be having some of our own programming. And we meet right now at Trinity, but we have some other locations that we're going to partner with to do some other classes.
Right.
So,
I mean, if anyone is going to suppress like their like emotions, it's going to be veterans, right? That have gone through it, and they and as a 40 or 50-year-old male, like you've been taught to just swallow your emotions and just dig it deep down and just leave it right here in your chest, right? Like, and that's never good for anyone that's trying to like get over whatever trauma they have. So like for vets and stuff like that, man, like these guys, like they're probably 10 times worse than Kurt, where they won't even acknowledge it during the interview because they don't want to say anything about it, because, you know, it's like, well, I was in war. Like, what do you think? Like, of course I'm going to have trauma. You know what I mean? But like they don't talk about it. They just suppress that shit.
It's like obviously I have it, so I'm not gonna do anything
and
about
they don't,
it. And
they don't know that that's the reason why they're always on edge, or always worried, or always frustrated, or whatever it is.
Nightmares, like
can't sleep,
can't
don't know why.
Yeah, I mean trauma, like we said, comes in all shapes and sizes, but it isn't all created equally, because like it takes. I mean, I would say some trauma takes people's not only their sleep habits, but their even eating habits. They might be able to eat. They may not be able to do their work on certain times. They might have to completely clock out, and they might go into like a trance where they're like just thinking about it. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, hours pass, and like I never got anything done because I was thinking about what could happen because of my situation, what did happen. And there's nobody for them. Nobody that understands that they can talk to until they reach out to like-minded people that deal with the trauma, like Pamela. Like, I mean, honestly, like, we live in a society that tells us to suppress it, and at the same time, we live in a society that when you act out about it, you are looked at as the problem, and that is so backwards to me. It's such a backwards situation, and I'm sure you can speak on it, Pamela. Like, yeah. It's backwards.
It
is. It really is.
It is, and that's the sad part. Is, like I said, nobody really wants to talk about it, and that's why I really appreciate you guys, because you guys, you know, have me on, and who, you know, whatever is going on at that moment, you know, there's an open space to talk about it, to say, hey, you know, if you're a PTSD or trauma survivor, or a veteran, and you want to come out and jam on some music one night, and we're creating a space for that. Reach out, because we want people, just everyday people. We're gonna have stuff set up, and people can get up and just jam, with other people. But
Yeah.
the whole goal of it is a fundraiser, and it's probably going to be like a $5 cover or something like that. That's what we're thinking. So it's all in the works. I know I have one MC. I'm going to do like a co-MC, and Kelly Red has said she's going to come and do that. She used to be down at Jeff Ruby's for a long time. Her and her husband, Kelly Red and the Hammerheads. But
yeah,
and
big time.
She did a song with us for Take Back the Night with Hear the Hope a few years ago. That's how Toby and I first worked together. We've known each other in the community, the healing community, but that's the first project that we worked on, was that. And so there's some other people that are getting involved, but like I said, it's just a matter of the community coming together and saying, this is here. Let's just come together and have some music, and then we'll talk about it. And then moving forward, there's a place if people want to come and do music therapy, or if they want to come and do meditation, or any of the other things that we're going to be offering. We wanted to get our online group going again too, because online seems to be the place where people.
If you guys can start a Discord.
I can't. I was.
Yeah, bro.
You already.
Yeah.
I was already gonna say the same.
Before COVID, it was.
Discord is the move.
Do you know what Discord is? How it's like a basically like a Reddit, but you can create your own group, and then people can just add to it, and then so it's almost like a Facebook group, but that way there's longevity to it. So if it only starts with 7 people, then 7 people are getting all the info, and then as soon as there's 20 people, all 20 people are getting the info, and then as these people watch the podcast, they can go to your Discord, and then they can see everything that you've talked about all the way up until today, right? Up until the very first post.
Timeline and a collective all together.
Right.
It's really effective.
It's how street brands are getting popular, which we need to do more of the due diligence on that end. But because like that's Discord is just one of those things where it's a way for like-minded people to throw ideas around. So
that's a great idea.
If you've got Discord towards like the LotusSanctuary Discord, and then people can just hop on there and throw stories in, like it's going to be like-minded people that just gravitate towards it, and then it just gets bigger and bigger because everyone that's going to the LotusSanctuary Discord is there for a reason. It's, there's no smoke.
We had,
intentional is what is important.
Yeah.
We had started some meetings and stuff like that, but it was during COVID. And so it was like trying to do anything like at that point, because everybody was all over the place.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what's good about the Discord. Just online, so it doesn't like there's an app it.
And we're at this point where I think we're at this line where the idea that the COVID time is passing us. So we are feeling it on the supply chain issue, and we're seeing it like some ripple effects.
Back end stuff.
Yeah, the back end stuff with it. But I think we're almost to the point where people are going to put the COVID idea in the past. So this would be a good time. I think 2023 is when we're going to kind of stop. COVID's going to be a thing of the past, right? It's going to be at one point it's going to be like, oh, I remember COVID, but it really wasn't that long ago. But like human mind, we kind of like move on quickly. We have a instant gratification society. We're living in a society where if the drive-through takes 10 minutes, it's taking too long. You know what I mean? So like that's where we're at. But with the internet, it's much the same. And the Discord is like a hyper-focused for whatever you're into, just like a Reddit. Mm-hmm. It's hyper-focused. So if you're LotusSanctuary Discord, you can literally give a link, and you can go there and you can get all the story, all the information. It's all in one hyper-focused place.
Yeah, hyper-focus is like the
it's like a bracket
scenario.
It's a brackets basically, and you're just there, and that you're there for that reason. Why else would you need to search it? Like you wouldn't even know unless you had a reason, and that's what you want.
Our group.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but the Discord is like on the masses. Like big people, like big influencers are getting their message out to the masses through Discord because it's open. It's an open format place.
It's
yes.
it's open, but there's no distraction. So if you're going there for LotusSanctuary, like you can hop in and just you'll get right on the Lotus Sanctuary feed where it's all people talking
The
about.
only problem
your
is
stuff.
what we've talked about is people don't want to talk about it.
But they will there.
They will there.
Because
I
they
think the
feel-
anonymous.
I think the anonymousness and the fact that it is
I
for
didn't,
them.
I didn't know it was anonymous.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like commenting on a Facebook page, but it's Discord is something that's like it's so Discord's huge. So if you want to look Supreme up, you can find Supreme on
Right,
Discord.
but don't you post as a profile or as a person or?
No, I don't think. I mean, it's so we would set up a Discord under the Native brand, and then anyone that wants to be a fan of the Native brand goes on the Discord, and
Right,
then
but
these
you
guys
don't-
can.
when they comment, you don't see who it is making the comment.
No, you see Little Willie 50, right, or whatever his name is. It doesn't have to be Kim Belew at .com. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's people that hop there to talk about their situation, right?
They could be
So-
anonymous 10. They could be their username could be anonymous 10. It
I'll have
doesn't-
to check it out and
Discord.
see.
It's definitely an effective tool for. Look at it as a tool. It's a place where you can go and you can isolate your stuff. To everyone on there is intentional about what you're trying to do. It's no one coming in for fluff, whatever.
And it's
You're
not
just there.
like they won't get random pop-ups of other people's stuff. If they go to like your Discord, so it's Lotus Sanctuary, and then it's everyone that talks about Lotus Sanctuary underneath it. So you can comment here, you can comment on somebody's post. Somebody can post something of a story they had, or comment on a story you had, and you can just it's all very like homed in on just what you want to do. So even though like Discord is a big web a platform,
Yep.
it's so particular to where you want to be. So like I can get on Discord and I can just watch Gary Vee stuff. I can just listen to what Gary Vee's saying about NFTs. I can break it down to where it's just the Native brand, where I don't hear stuff about Cincy shirts, anything else other than just the Native brand, because I'm in the Discord /Native brand, and then this is everything that happens here.
Yep.
It's a great tool to use because it's new on the block. A lot of people don't know about it, and it's more of like a streetwear thing for clothing brands and things like that right now.
Yeah.
But this is something where Discord's like a perfect juxtaposition again for somebody like you that does trauma and that wants people to talk about it, but people don't want to out themselves on Facebook, because if I post something on Lotus Sanctuary, then all 5,000 of my friends, they're going to get a post that says, Jay posted something on Lotus
Yeah.
Sanctuary. And then they look at that and they go, oh, shit, Jay's going through trauma right now.
Yeah, I
You know what I
probably
mean?
wouldn't put my
So-
story on Facebook. I'd put my story that I dealt with on a Discord.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it on Facebook. My Facebook is for post
Family.
podcast and Charlie,
Yeah.
the podcast and Charlie and Native Brand stuff, and like
Right.
my concerts, the shows I
Well,
put on. But like
that's
Discord,
why ours, it's in
I'd put
you
in
have
there.
to join the group and go in it.
Yeah.
But then I can post files and articles and stuff, and then people can comment on other people's stuff, and then when we meet live, we can meet in there as
Yeah.
like a group, and then people, if you're up at 3:00 in the morning, somebody else is in there, you can go in there and talk to people.
And Discord's good too, because you can
Much the same.
you can get
Much the
alerts.
same.
You can get alerts where like you can alert just one topic where like something you post, and then somebody says, hey, I'm going through some shit, and you can get an alert from Discord that says, hey, somebody just commented on this, and you can just go in directly and just message them or talk to them, where it's not the static of Facebook, where if somebody says something on your page, there's 7 other people that saw him post that, because
Yeah,
Facebook
because
wants
Facebook
you to
does
say.
that, yeah.
Facebook says,
Well, see, that's
"Oh,
what I was wondering, if you would get trolls and stuff like that.
You
No,
won't. You
did-
won't get it.
did-
That's the beauty of it. You won't get trolls. You'll get people that are intentional for whatever your topic is. You're not going to get someone that's coming in to throw the leaves everywhere and mess up your pile. They want to be in that spot because they're there for a reason. Why else would I be
you got to
there?
search Discord.
You have to search it.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's very intentional. I think it'd be a really effective tool for you because you don't have to take away from other platforms. You just add to, if you don't feel comfortable,
Yeah,
put on
'cause you could
Facebook.
post that on Facebook. Go here. Here's the
100%. It's the
Yeah.
internet. So like I think the beauty of humans is that we're always looking to up the level of security and privacy, but still being able to put our emotions out there. And I think Discord and Reddit and places where it's like, see, the beauty of Reddit is it's pretty much like regulated by its clients. So people that if they post false information, there's 100 people that are going to say that's wrong, dude. Why did you post that in this Reddit? Because that's not factual. And then they'll post articles about what is factual. So people in Reddit, if they post wrong information, it's called out. And I think that's a valuable tool. Discord is much the same. People will post, not that they're going to call you out as wrong, but like if you post something on Discord, people are all there in that same Discord to relate to whatever you're talking about. And it is a great community place. And like you said, Gary Vee is a big one with that, because Gary Vee is like all about the marketing and social media, and here because you are doing the best of your ability to whatever you're in. And people understand that when they're going into Discord. They have that mentality when they enter the chat. And with yours, it's much the same. They enter it knowing that it's going to talk about trauma. And that Discord will have all the information that you're posting, and you would run the show, and then others will involve. And you're just looking for a discourse. You know what I mean? Like, and I think you've done a great job. Just add to your tools of strength. And then at the end of the day, you're going to achieve the goals, man. Like, just...
Is your chair on?
Yes, it is.
I was like, what is going on, bro? What am I hearing right now?
I got these chairs are massage chairs. It's the works.
Yeah. But like as I popped on, I saw this moving. I was like, what is happening? So
It's an earthquake.
trying to figure it out.
Yeah, but yeah, I really think it's something to look into. I think it's starting to a Lotus Sanctuary Discord would be super effective, and you would see people that come out of nowhere that want to post because they're essentially anonymous. You know what I mean? And getting their trauma out there, and you can be like, oh man, like all these different stories. They give you a whole new...
Discord's good because it's not like Facebook or Instagram. There's not... I can't click on Jimmy that commented on Lotus Sanctuary and then see his whole backstory and see his kids and see his wife and the whole nine. Like, it's pretty anonymous, man, which is probably the most genius part of Discord,
Yes,
which is like, you know, it's just like your most people's pictures on Discord are NFTs.
Yep.
Like, it's like a cartoon figure of what they want to be. But.
Yep.
So you got some stuff going on in December, right? So in
Well,
December, you're going to start bringing some stuff back?
No, it's a 3-month thing. It's right now. If you want to order a T-shirt, our free funder's out there. So, but we're going to have some in-person stuff. We're hoping to have an open mic night, and then we're going to do some other in-person stuff. I just don't have everything. I can't give details right now.
Sure. The open mic night.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. So where are you trying to put that at?
That's going to be at hopefully Flow, which is Reese Watkins' place. Reese Watkins is a chemist, bro. He's actually is he a chemist? Is he a
Well, that's a potential. The only problem is I haven't gotten it all nailed down yet, and that's
Okay.
why I didn't want to
Okay.
put
Well,
too much out.
Sure, but that's a great idea.
I'm gonna put it out there because Reese is an amazing dude, and he's a chemist and what he does. I brought Tyrell over to Flow in Newport when he was over here, and he's got something called bean juice, right, which is like top of the line espresso, like squeezes the shit out of these beans and makes like the strongest espresso that you can find. And he's like a real chemist. He's gone to college like for chemistry and the whole nine, so he knows how to do this shit. And I buy one for me and Tyrell, and Tyrell's like takes one sip, bro. It's like, ooh, this is the nastiest thing I've ever in my entire life. Like Tyrell's like chocolate milk. He doesn't like coffee at all. So like I got him that, he was like, "You got anything that's like a little less like a little less coffee?"
Yeah, a little
But it's
more
like-
cream and sugar.
Yeah.
And the flavors, right?
Yeah, we got him chocolate milk over there, but that's tea, bro. That's Tyrell. That's the best part about loving that kid, man. He's like, he doesn't know these things, so like we gave him 100% bean juice from the chemist himself, and he's like, "Oh man, this is crazy." And I'm over here sipping on it like I'm fucking good to go, bro. This is amazing. Like if you want an espresso, like this is done to a T where it's like the perfect temperature and everything. But so anyway, so Reese is he's opening up like 3 or 4 flows, man. He's been just plucking away at the clock. And so I told her, I'm like, this is the perfect place because he's got one spot that's a stage that has these old school speakers that are all set up on the sides where it could be like it'd be like a perfect Deaf Poetry Jam. You remember that shit from the 90s, bro?
Yeah.
My thing is right now, though, is I got to get all the people on the same page on the same date, and if it works out with his venue, then it does. But I don't have. That's why I didn't want to put too much out yet. I just know when it's going to be. It's
Lock
gonna
in the cool venue, and then the people will follow.
Yes.
So
And
Lock in the place, lock in the
also,
content, they
I'm
will
working
follow.
with Toby and Kim's schedules. It's like a lot about everybody's schedules, and if we can have it, on the day that they can do it.
For sure.
Yeah. So.
For sure, and I can tell just trying to get you three lined up to get on the podcast.
Kim was out of the country. Toby's going out of the country, and at the end of November, that's why I'm trying to I got a sweet spot that I got to get it in. So
you're setting yourself up for mass success here. As long as you guys can bounce the ball within the court, because I love these two, and I've loved you for 20 years. There's no denying that. But I just met these two tonight, and these two are very important people in the community, right?
And that's what I'm trying to build with the Lotus Sanctuary. Once we have our own space and everything, we're going to have healing drum circles and all kinds of events where we bring people like that and everybody comes together.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to create, is that community of healing, and where people feel like I can go, there's this thing happening or that thing happening, and it'll be a community situation.
For sure. So and it might get to the point where you don't even need people that have had trauma, right? People that just want to just.
It's going to be more of a community center. Yeah, it's going to be. No, it's not. It's not going to be all based on trauma. It's going to be based on, like I said,
lifting the spirit,
lifting the spirit,
Yeah.
and then everybody can meditate, everybody can elevate themselves, everybody can get chakra balancing, everybody can get massage. What a great world would it be if everybody took care of themselves better?
For sure, man.
And spiritually,
and reiterating to 2 hours ago in the beginning of the podcast, when we were talking about we haven't been around a long time, right? So we don't know how to balance our bodies and how to make sure that we live above 80 years old. We put all this stuff into our bodies. We don't know what the fuck McDonald's is putting in their food. We don't know what's doing with anything and any of this stuff. But there's moments here where if we can figure out how to harness our energy, harness our chi, and do the whole nine,
there's definite, food has a thing in it. There's a lot of stuff, but the Western world is just catching up with what they've been doing, in other countries and other places for a long time. Like he was talking about the African things. I mean, all different cultures have things in it that we haven't practiced.
For sure.
And in America, people get this thing that, you got to go to the doctor
stigma.
and you take a pill. There's not a pill that works for everything.
Man.
And you've got to.
Yeah. When you start hearing about the side effects, if you're trying to get rid of heartburn.
Everything to sudden death.
Yeah, it's to get
I
rid of
wanna take
heartburn,
that
you got limb looselessness. It's what the fuck is limb looselessness?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
I'm trying to get rid of heartburn. You're telling me my arms aren't going to work?
Side effects include.
Exactly. I want to take that,
Right, yeah.
But the more we get to the natural world, the more we walk softly on the earth. And that's, like I said, it's become part of my mission to, educate people on how to, be a full human,
It's crazy to think that 20 to 30 years from, actually 50 to 60 to 100 years from now, people are going to be looking back, and it's going to be an everyday practice what you're doing now, but what you're doing is
we're just
so
bringing back
far
the
ahead.
old ways. We're bringing back the old ways. We're bringing back the
earth.
indigenous, living softly on the earth and walking like indigenous people. For us Native Americans and for other cultures, I mean, you can go back to the Sumerians and they used crystals to heal. They used,
I'm in. I'm here for all of it. All those crystals, I believe in all that.
There's a lot of things out there, like you said, that we don't know, but the more we listen and the more we open our minds to it, we can all get there.
For sure.
But yeah, so again, our fundraisers out, our free funders out there, if people want to get involved in any way, if they want to volunteer, if they want to come and, be a part of the groups, be a part of creating, this is grassroots. If you want to be a part of something that's going somewhere and that people in your family or yourself or whoever else that would benefit from it, this is the time. You can jump in, be on our board, donate money. We need a building, donate a building. You got a building in Covington, that's where I'd like to be. If you got one
good
you want to
spot.
sell cheap,
It is.
hit me up. I'd like something historical.
Yeah.
With
And
three
you're
levels.
gonna. A lot of people are gonna hear this. So like,
Yeah.
this is the place because like, it's all about community driven, and this is the collective, and you're in real time.
Yeah.
I will say that it's interesting that like, there's rumors that civilizations prior to what we know now have all lived very holistically, had lived for the earth,
Oh, that's
and
like-
we don't even know anything about it because those civilizations came and went, and all the remnants are gone, but they lived that way, and we just don't know it because we just weren't there. But bringing it to the real time with the Western culture mentality, it's just... there's a lot to learn, and I think that you're doing a service to a lot of people that don't even know that you're doing a service to them just yet.
For sure.
Honestly, like they don't know yet.
Not yet.
Again,
Not yet,
Toltec
not yet.
healing, which Don Miguel Ruiz brought that really to the forefront. But that's been going on in the place that I visited in Mexico, Teotihuacan, where we all came together and wrote our chapters and stuff. That's one of those places. Look it up, Teotihuacan, Mexico, and it's a gathering of pyramids, but they only have it 20% excavated, and they know that over 100,000 people lived in that. And think about that long ago.
Yeah.
But if you go look up the history of it, it's amazing, and the things that they found there. And when I was walking on it, like literally the ground, and this was like kind of far from the pyramids. It's like a little ways, a little drive, and the ground I could feel it vibrating.
The vibrations?
Like all the
Okay.
time. It was just, the energy is so... I did a
That's
fire
rising.
walk. I walked on coals.
No, you didn't. Oh, look
What?
at you.
All right.
You got video of that?
Is there video
Yeah,
of that?
it's on our... you can see it. I sent you the video. Remember I sent you that little clip?
I didn't see that one, man. I didn't see
I would love
that.
to see that.
Dude.
I'd love to have
You
that.
can see it right now. It's on...
Yeah.
It go
Okay.
to... it's called shamanheart.org.
Okay.
And she did a video. There's like balloons coming up. And Stephanie talks about our whole...
And watch you walk over hot coals.
No, but there's pictures of the coals that we walked over.
Okay, okay.
But I have pictures I can show you.
Oh, I bet you do.
Yeah.
Of course you do. You should.
Yeah.
You should. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
But yeah, I mean,
how do you feel when you've accomplished that?
like you can do anything.
Like you can do anything,
Right.
right?
Like
yeah.
I commented. A friend of mine was talking about a fire walk today. That it was a memory that somebody posted, and and especially there's so much energy. It was amazing.
Yeah,
It's the most
yeah.
amazing thing that I've probably ever done. As far as like things that people, bucket list kind of things that people talk about.
Oh, that's definitely bucket list for me.
ma-
I'd love to walk over coals.
That'd be crazy.
I'd love to.
I'm going to be going
Yeah.
to fire walking school, and
What?
that's
Wow.
one of the things that. And
Okay, then I see you.
my for-profit business is going to be Emergence Wellness Oasis, and so we will
Okay.
have things like that, and that'll just be open to anybody that wants to come and learn it. So, yeah. But again, all of these things, all of the healing and all the things that we're talking about, there are things out there that have been, out there that people have done for a long time, and we just didn't know about them.
We didn't know about them, right? Yeah. I think that the best part about all of this is that we've lived our lives in this current landscape, and we're just going to add to. People feel like whether they feel healthy or unhealthy, you can add to their level of life, the level of like healthiness and overall satisfaction. I would say because healthy body makes more of satisfactory life.
Well, people living from their higher self state is what it's called. It's like your God
Okay, yeah.
self. It's from your heart. Again, all of the things that people talk about and people do, the bullying, all of those things, that's all material stuff.
Yeah.
That's a material world. And, we have to come out of that and realize that we're all human beings. We're all walking each other home.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been said.
We're all one. We're
Yeah,
all one. We're
yeah.
sitting in like
Yeah. So when
in
you put somebody else down, or
another
when you do all of these other
dimension,
things
for real.
that people do, you're doing it to yourself, as well. And and that's again, a part of my purpose is just lifting people and showing people different ways to do things.
When did you think that you had? Because have you always thought you had this purpose, or when did this happen?
No, it came
to-
out of from my book.
Okay, yeah.
When I went through my major trauma in my life, I've had a couple of things. My fiance died, There's points that if you look back at your life, there's things that changed you and whatever. But yeah, when I was raped in 2004, that was a thing that, it came in and, and because I didn't talk about it, that was my thing. I didn't talk about it. It took me 8 years to tell my mom.
Yep. You mentioned that. I remember you mentioned that. Yeah.
I didn't tell anybody because I was so ashamed. I was so ashamed and felt like it was my fault. And I was drugged.
Yeah.
I was Mickey. So it
Right.
was like, the conscious mind knows that it's not my fault. But internally, that's not how I felt.
Right.
And see, all of those things, like I said, living in trauma response, when people are living that way, it's just no way to live. But there's so many people out there doing it, and we bounce off each other. And then people in relationships, you were talking about relationships, people trauma bond.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And so, and it becomes, a spiral thing where you're trying to fix each other. You can't fix anybody else. They have to have that internal whatever to be able to get to the level and, again, learning things that they don't even know that they need to know how to do.
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
You really are. You're kind of shooting from the hip for real. You're kind of just navigating your way through whatever situation you've dealt with, and then when the smoke's cleared, you're left in this raw and like vulnerable state. And I see trauma bonding. I've experienced that. I've had friends that have dealt with it, and even outside of relationships, I'm like, hey, I'm really close to you, man, because you dealt with something that I dealt with, and we're best friends, even though we may not have anything in common, but that we do. Mm-hmm. And at that point forward, you're like connected by the heart because you're dealing with you're dealing with the same PTSD of sorts. You know what I mean?
And that's okay, and that's healthy in some ways. But when you do it in a relationship, it's not. It becomes toxic, and you're trying. That's why you see a lot of people, the fighting and the not getting along and then going in circles and doing various things. It's like the reason they came together initially was they trauma bonded, but then that doesn't mean that either one of them can help the other. You've got to get on the level where, you help yourself and, you can bring each other up, but it's really hard when you both are in a damaged place. At least one of you has got to get on the level of healing.
Yeah.
And then, again, and that's kind of like when you are in a relationship, a marriage, you go through ups and downs and you lean on each other. And there's times that one person pulls the other person up. But if you're both down at the same time, that's sometimes when a marriage will end because you can't both be in the hurt place.
Right. Someone has to be able to like the anchor.
Yeah. Or to bring the other person up. So.
That is deep. We could do a whole podcast on that. We could do a lot of podcasts inside the one topic.
Yeah.
So do you have any events that are scheduled booked date wise? Or are you
no, that's what I was saying. Everything's not. I don't have all the events laid out yet, but it's all going to be on our free friender page, which is on our Lotus Sanctuary Facebook page. Everything will be posted there. We'll put out invites. It will be toward the end of November for the open mic night. There are some other events in the planning stages, but nothing's solid. That's
concrete,
why I didn't want to. But I wanted to get this out there because we wanted to get the song out.
Yeah, let's get the ball rolling for sure.
We got 3 months to get
4,000 views.
downloads.
Yeah, if you get a chance to check out the song, go online and there's plenty of links. We'll link everything to our podcast here, and you can go check it all out. Just check in the comments and get those views up. Let's get this song out there. It's one of those things where you don't know you may need it until it hits you, and then when you listen to the music, I was listening to it and I felt that the overwhelming emotion of just like, hey, there's some pain in this song and there's some pleasure in this song, all in the same thing, because she's relieving, like you can tell she's relieving herself of these emotions in real time. Like you can literally listen to the song and hear it. And anyone that knows music knows that it is all about how you take it. Everyone's perspective is different. We all live different journeys, but music kind of brings us together and it relieves the weight off your shoulders. Whether you want it to or not, it's going to do it because music is powerful.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this is you're helping two nonprofits. So Hear the Hope is getting help, and we're getting help, and everybody's bringing everybody up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, well, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. This is the second one. We'll have another podcast, and we'll do a
Yeah,
we'll do a
once
recap.
we get everything locked down.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to do one before we do the open mic night. So definitely.
Yeah. The open mic is gonna be fun. Those can be a challenge to put together because open mic nights are like
A lot of moving pieces.
A lot of moving pieces.
I mean, like I said, we have things nailed down with Flo, but I just got to make sure that the dates that he has available, that everybody can get the schedule together. So.
Yeah, you should try to get it close to his studio. If you can get a location close to a studio, that'd be.
Well, it's not about that. It's just about timing.
About the timing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
not
and
locations per se.
Well, I'd really like to have it in northern Kentucky, but I think we may have it in Northside. So those are the two.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, like I said, I got to get everybody locked down to a date and a place and a time.
Right. Once you get that first date out of the way, then you should be able to get a pretty consistent thing going. You know what? I will suggest is find a place that there's a lot of places that are looking to add live music to their establishment. So try to find a place.
This is our fundraiser. That's not the music therapy program is a separate thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not. This is an ongoing. This is our. We'll probably. And if this works, we might do this annually.
Okay.
We'd like to do it, but again, we want to give a space for PTSD, trauma survivors, veterans, anybody that's gone, we want to have a night where you can come and jam out to music, and Kim will probably sing, and Toby, and but everybody get together and just have a night to celebrate it.
Yeah. I think I'd love Native to be a part of it. I love the whole entire thing. Yeah, we'd be. I mean, I'm excited just to see something happen from before it started to in the moment, and to see the final product.
If anybody at the Madison's open, we would love.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Because the thing is it's bigger.
Yeah. It is bigger. Madison Live is a really good location. It's got a great room. We can hold about 300 people on the main floor. That is a little more complicated just because
it's a live venue.
It is a live venue.
Flo's a building one, so it was a good place. But again, it's going to be and I'm working with somebody that's going to be like kind of helping me produce everything and put it all together. So again, lots of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts, but the fact that you're trying to take on this kind of level of project is touche. Touche, basically, is all I'm saying. Touche, keep it up. But I think that's all we got for tonight. Jay's taking care of some stuff. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Any last words, Pamela?
Oh, no, just go to our page. It's TheLotusSanctuary.com, or wait a minute, .org. And,
.org.
Yeah, and on Facebook, we'll post all of our events. We'll have invites and put it out there, all the information. We should know within probably a week or so, everything will be nailed down, and then we can put it out there. What else? And we'll have flyers and invites. And
the whole nine, yeah.
The whole nine.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate anyone that was tuned in. And sorry for the technical difficulties. That's part of the internet area. Things go wrong. And we appreciate you guys being a part of each week. We're always doing different stuff. We got different guests on each week. We do the open powwow where we're open to people coming on the powwow and telling us about their grind, whatever that is. So come on and experience this with us. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to Pam and for bringing some dope guests tonight. It's been awesome. And that's it. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Bye. Later. Have a good one and say your byes. Hi. Right there.
To look.
There's a camera right there?
Right there.
Yeah, you are. Hey. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Later. Bye.